Alright, so this story time is going to be about the first time I got lifted. So for this story, we're going to use lifted or zooted as, you know. So, so the story time is going to be the first time I got zooted, lifted, and the first time I got zooted, lifted around family. So the first time I got zooted slash lifted was my 8th grade year of middle school. Sorry, mom, in advance. But my mom thought me and my friends were going to the mall. She dropped me and a friend off at the mall. Later, we were picked up by that friend's cousin and their friend, in order to basically hotbox and chill out and have the munchies. And that's basically it on that one, because there really wasn't much crazy about it. I mean, the first time I got lifted wasn't too crazy, and like I didn't have a bad experience, so there's no like, oh my gosh, like it was a crazy story to tell. But hence why I give you a twofer with the first time I got lifted slash zooted with family. So at this time I was living in New York City. Well, actually I was living in upstate New York, Buffalo area, and I frequently traveled back and forth between the Buffalo area and New York City because originally that's where I'm from, and my family got homesick pretty often, so we made regular trips back home. So this is probably around November, December of my November, December of my freshman year in high school. So at the time, I was dating someone that we will call N for this story, and I was also with my cousins, who we will call S and K, and possibly my brother, who we will call, not sure what to call him for this one, just for namesake. I'm gonna call him Gray, just for right now. So, me and my boyfriend at the time, and we're hanging out and relaxing at my grandmother's house, which is something we regularly did because my grandmother's house was like really the spot. You could come in there, eat to your heart's content, watch television, go in and out the house at any given point in time, and my grandmother really wouldn't say too much to you. So that's part of the reason why everybody regularly hung out over there, because you could do a lot of dumb stuff and wouldn't get in trouble. So at the time, me and N, along with my cousins S and K and my brother Gray, were all sitting in the house, and like we all decided, hey, it would be a great idea to get lifted. Mind you, at the time, my cousin K knew and was well aware of the fact that I got lifted quite frequently, but my cousin S wasn't shocked, but this was new to her. She had no clue. I believe my brother knew, but not 100% sure. So let's continue with the story. So, since we all made the decision, okay, we're gonna all get lifted, my boyfriend N calls his friend and is like, hey, do you have anything on you? And can we cop from you? Also, do you know a place where we can like smoke and not be bothered? And friend proceeds to say, yeah, I have a basement place, kind of like my trap area. You guys can come and smoke there, and we can all just, smoke and chill. So, we meet up with N's friend, and we all walk to his place. And in New York City, if you're from New York City or a metropolitan area that has brownstones, well aware, it's not really a basement, it's like another mini apartment at the bottom of more apartments. So we proceed to walk to the lower part of the brownstone and walk into the area where we're about to get lifted. So everybody gets their stuff together. Everybody starts prepping to get lifted and everything. Meanwhile, while everybody's talking, me and Anna are kind of chatting it up, doing PDA stuff and kind of being cutesy and crap. But at the same time, we're also just like, feeling the vibe about everything and everyone around us. So, as we proceed to get ready and everything, we just sit there and talk, and my cousin's still shocked at the fact that she didn't know I smoked. And I was like, yeah, it's no big deal. And she was like, okay, well, next time you're home, you should definitely let me know so we can do this together and, chill, watch movies, munchies, stuff like that. And I was like, absolutely. So everyone's ready. We have our stuff. So we start putting everything in rotation. Probably a good 5 to 10 minutes into the rotation, my boyfriend Ann goes, hey, do you want to do a shotgun? So, be that this is only freshman year and I started my getting lifted and zooted career in 7th or 8th grade, I'm not that experienced in this. So, one, I had no clue. Well, I had an idea of what a shotgun was, if you get my meaning. But at the same time, I wasn't sure if this was going to be executed right and make me look like a noob to this, or was this going to go terribly wrong and just not be good in general and make me look bad in front of my boyfriend at the time and his friend. So we shotgun twice in the rotation, and then I'm like, yeah, no, I think I'm good on it. Because I was like, this is becoming awkward and a little bit too much PDA, and I don't want my family to feel uncomfortable while we're smoking. So we stop shotgunning. We proceed to finish getting lifted. And again, if you live in a metropolitan area and has brownstones, you know that trying to walk up some brownstones after becoming lifted, in this case zooted, because there was lots of stuff in rotation, quite a few actually, and it's not a good time because your coordination isn't 100%. So as all of us gingerly, and if you don't know what gingerly means, I will put it down in the description to let you know, we gingerly walked up the steps to leave and go head back to my grandmother's. On the way back to my grandmother's, of course, which was not that long of a walk in New York City, you can basically walk like 10 blocks in less than 10 minutes, and it's not that bad, depending on how fast your pace is. Most New Yorkers' paces is pretty quick, so it was a pretty quick walk. But while we walked, we got laughed and giggled, told some silly stories. Mind you, this is pretty late at night and this is on a weekend. So, there is a lot going on, but at the same time there isn't, because it's on the late night side, but it's crossing into like wee hours early morning. So, we walk to my grandmother's house. We all get in, we sit down, and my grandmother is a pretty light sleeper. So she proceeds to walk into the living room and asks us if everyone's okay. Oh, I skipped a very integral part. So before we got to my grandmother's house, we stopped at a convenience store to get some spray because we did not want to walk into my grandmother's house smelling like we are completely zooted like we looked. So we get some spray, we walk into my grandmother's house, and we sit down and watch TV for a while. When you're zooted, everybody kind of has like this hive mind mentality where you all give each other the look of like, yeah, I think it's about that time. And it was about that time. So we proceeded to go to the local chicken spot around the corner from my grandmother's house and get some food. So, side note, I'm one of those people that really, really loves food. I go by this saying, I don't eat to live, I live to eat, because I love food. Food is great. Food is a lot better than a lot of things. No joke. It doesn't talk bad to you, doesn't make you feel bad. Food is great. Anyways, I'm not a big fan of people taking food off my plate, nor not asking if they want some food. And if I ask you and you tell me no and then try to grab for food, I'm going to get mad. Just a side note. So let's continue with the story. We all get back from the local chicken spot and we're sitting down and everyone's joking, having a great time, and we're eating. Again, my grandmother's a light sleeper, so she wakes up again and comes into the living room and realizes all of us have food. So she comes up to my food, which is some cheese fries and some other stuff. I believe at the time it may have been a beef patty with cheese. At that time I was still eating meat. Right now I'm a vegetarian. Well, not right now. I've been a vegetarian for 11 years, so whoop whoop. Anyways, so she proceeds to grab a few fries. Well, not a few. A nice chunk of fries out of my cheese fries. Everyone looks at her. I look at her, and we're all like, dude, you just grabbed a person who zooted food. And then the person at that who really doesn't like when people touch their food. So, wasn't too ecstatic about that. Then she proceeds to do it again, and then she actually catches on to the fact that everybody's looking at her along with myself, realizing, okay, so did I do something wrong or what's going on? I just look at my grandmother and tell her I love her, because, like, are you really going to sit here and tell your grandmother, hey, by the way, like, I really didn't appreciate you touching my food, when everyone and their mother knows I don't like when people touch my food. It's very offensive. It's rude. It's disrespectful, to be honest. But anyways, the rest of the night goes off without a hitch. We pretty much sit there, laugh, giggle, and goof off, being completely zooted. And we have being completely zooted, and we basically sat up, watched movies for a majority of the night. And goes home, and me and my cousins spend the night at my grandmother's house, sleeping on her couch like we used to when we were kids, and waking up the next morning with cotton mouth because of the simple fact that we were super duper zooted the night before and ate a lot of food without consciously thinking of having a drink. Although all of us did have a drink, they were like sodas or some juices. So, you know, when you're zooted and have soda or juices as opposed to water, you're going to wake up the next morning with severe cotton mouth. Just saying. Be prepared for that. But, yeah, that was the first time I got zooted, or lifted, as you would say. So, thanks for listening. Thanks for enjoying the story time. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching my video. And come back to my channel again. See ya.